Hey everyone, welcome back.
Yeah.
You know how much we love to dig into history around here, and today we're going to a land where history is pretty much carved into the landscape.
Yeah.
I'm talking fjords and sagas.
Hmm.
We're diving into the captivating story of Norway.
It is captivating.
And you know, a nation whose journey is as dramatic as its landscape.
Absolutely.
So to get us started, I have to mention the excerpts you sent over from 1060 History of Norway and the Vikings.
Yes.
I have to say, this text, it's like a time machine.
It really is. When you start reading this, you just get this sense of just how resilient the people of Norway have always had to be.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning, battling that landscape and,
Absolutely.
and navigating all the politics and alliances. It's incredible.
Well, let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
All the way back.
All the way back.
10,000 BCE.
Yeah.
Okay, as the last ice age was retreating.
Right.
I mean, imagine those early hunter-gatherers
Yeah.
setting foot on a newly thawed Norway.
Yeah, they were pioneers.
Pioneers.
Absolutely. Of that post-glacial world. It's amazing to think about
I know.
the challenges those early Norwegians had to face.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking icy tundras, long winters.
Right. And the land of the midnight sun.
Yes, exactly. Where daylight stretches on and on for months and months and months.
They had to be so resourceful.
They had to be incredibly resourceful just to survive.
And in tune with nature.
Oh, absolutely.
But over time,
Yeah.
they transitioned from those nomadic hunters to settled farmers.
They did.
How did that happen? I mean, in such a challenging environment.
It was a gradual shift.
Okay.
Driven by necessity and innovation, I think.
Necessity for sure.
Yeah. They had to figure out a way to make it work. They learned to raise livestock.
Right.
You know, the hardy livestock like sheep and goats
Oh,
that
yeah.
could withstand the cold and, cultivating crops.
Yeah.
That could grow in those short, intense growing seasons,
Right.
like barley, for example.
Okay.
This adaptation,
Mhm.
working with the environment, not against it. Yeah.
Really became a hallmark of their history, I think.
That ingenuity.
Yeah.
So by the early Iron Age,
Mhm.
we see them developing even more sophisticated skills.
Right.
Building boats, forging tools, and even trade networks.
Exactly. Trade networks with their neighbors and beyond.
And this sets the stage?
This sets the stage for the
That's-
iconic,
Yeah.
the Viking Age.
Okay, the Vikings.
Yes.
Legendary warriors.
Mm-hmm.
They've captured the imagination of so many people.
For sure.
But how accurate is that image?
That's a great question.
Those fierce raiders?
Yeah, that is part of the story.
Okay,
But there's so much more to them than just that.
okay.
You know that dramatic raid on Lindisfarne in 793 AD?
I've heard of that.
That really marked the beginning of the Viking Age.
Right.
And it did send shockwaves across Europe,
Oh, yeah.
but we can't let that define them.
So what else characterized the Vikings?
Well, they were incredible seafarers.
Okay.
Unparalleled shipbuilding skills.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about those ships. Those long ships?
Yes.
Fast maneuverable and seaworthy?
They could go anywhere.
They could go anywhere. They could raid, trade, explore.
Wow.
Far beyond Scandinavia.
So what were some of their
It was a symbol
Yeah.
of their ambition and outward-looking spirit.
destinations?
Oh, their reach was incredible.
Okay.
Think Iceland, Greenland,
Wow.
even North America.
What? Before Columbus?
Centuries before Columbus. That's what's so amazing.
I know.
They weren't just raiders. They were explorers, colonizers, traders.
Wow.
They had this network of
Wow.
trade routes, exchanging goods like timber furs,
Okay.
connecting Scandinavia with the Byzantine Empire in the east,
That's fully.
all the way down to the Mediterranean.
So they were like maritime entrepreneurs.
That's a great way to put it. They had this sense of opportunity,
Yeah.
willingness to take risks.
That's a great point.
And beyond the maritime exploits,
Uh-huh.
they were skilled craftsmen
Oh, yeah.
creating intricate jewelry weapons.
Artwork. Amazing.
And their storytelling tradition,
oh, yes.
the Norse sagas,
Yes.
tales of gods and heroes,
Right.
it gives us a glimpse into their beliefs, values, worldview.
So much more than just raiders.
So much more.
Yeah. Okay. So within Scandinavia itself,
Yeah.
how did the Vikings shape the political landscape of Norway?
Well, around 872 AD,
Okay.
Harold Fairhair,
Hell fair.
this ambitious Viking leader,
Okay.
unified the various independent chieftainships in Norway.
That must have been tough.
It was a feat. Military prowess and political savvy.
I bet.
The Battle of Hafrsfjord, where Harold defeated his rivals,
Okay.
marks a turning point,
Okay.
establishing Norway as a unified kingdom.
So this is the groundwork for the Norway we know today.
Absolutely. A crucial step in the formation of their national identity.
But even while he was doing that,
Yeah.
the Viking spirit exploration.
Didn't wane.
Okay.
It was during this period that a legendary figure named Leif Erikson set sail westward.
Leif Erikson.
Son of Eric the Red.
I remember him.
Yes. Around the year 1000 AD,
Right.
he established a settlement in Vinland,
Didlin.
which is believed to be present-day Newfoundland in Canada.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, predates Columbus.
Centuries before Columbus, highlighting their seafaring skills and adventurous spirit.
Okay, but while they were venturing across the seas,
Yes.
back in Norway, a transformation was happening.
You're talking about the shift from the Norse pagan beliefs
Yes.
to Christianity.
It's fascinating.
It is a fascinating transition.
From tales of Odin Thor
Freya.
to the teachings of Christianity.
Yeah.
What led to that?
Well, it was a complex process,
Okay.
unfolded over centuries.
Okay.
European missionaries played a role.
Right.
But it wasn't just imposed beliefs.
So-
There were political motivations as well.
Like,
Christian rulers saw the advantages of aligning with the dominant religion of Europe,
so a blend of
religion and politics,
For sure.
and within Norway,
Yeah.
this transition was closely tied to the reigns of two key figures,
Okay.
King Olaf Tryggvason
Okay.
and King Olaf Haraldsson,
Okay.
later known as Saint Olaf.
Saint Olaf.
Olaf Tryggvason was a fierce warrior king
Okay.
and an early champion of Christianity,
Interesting.
using both persuasion and force to convert his subjects.
And what about Saint Olaf?
His story is a dramatic one,
Okay.
filled with conflict
Ah.
and ultimately martyrdom.
Oh, wow.
He continued the efforts to Christianize Norway,
Okay.
but faced strong resistance
I'll bet.
from those clinging to the old ways.
Right?
The Battle of Stiklestad in 1030 AD,
Okay.
where Olaf was killed,
Oh, wow.
became a pivotal moment.
Okay.
Though he died in battle,
Yeah.
his death ultimately served to solidify Christianity in Norway.
So it was like his sacrifice
Yes, his sacrifice became a catalyst for religious change.
and made him a national hero.
Exactly. Elevated to sainthood,
Right.
became a powerful symbol of Norwegian identity,
Wow.
showing how religion and politics were deeply intertwined.
Yeah.
It's incredible how a single event can
Yeah.
have such a lasting impact.
I know this is fascinating.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started. I'm ready to dive into what comes next.
I know, me too.
But let's pause here.
Okay,
Let all this sink in.
I agree. It's a lot to take in.
Incredible history.
So much to unpack.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll explore how Norway navigated the post-Viking era,
I can't wait.
emerging as the modern nation we know today.
Okay, everybody, stay with us. Welcome back to our deep dive into the history of Norway. It feels like we're at a turning point in their story, right?
You're right, we are.
Moving from one era to another.
As we move into this post-Viking period, this theme of resilience that we talked about really comes to the forefront.
Yeah.
Because even though the era of Viking raids and conquests maybe ended,
Right.
Norway faced a whole new set of challenges: political maneuvering, shifting alliances,
Mm-hmm.
and a struggle to maintain their own identity.
Yeah, in the face of some powerful neighbors.
exactly.
So what was happening in Scandinavia after the Viking Age?
Well, the political landscape was in constant flux across Europe.
Right. Kingdoms rising and falling.
Kingdoms rising and falling, alliances shifting.
Right.
Smaller nations like Norway
Yeah.
often found themselves caught in the middle
Okay.
in these power struggles.
Right.
And in 1397, Norway entered into the Kalmar Union,
The Kalmar Union.
a political pact with Denmark and Sweden.
Okay.
And on the surface, it might have seemed like a way to ensure stability,
Cooperation.
cooperation, but in reality,
Denmark kind of took over.
Denmark became the dominant force in the Union.
Yeah.
And Norway essentially found itself under Danish rule.
For centuries.
For centuries, it was a long period of
Ah.
Danish influence. And while there were times of peace and prosperity, this loss of independence undoubtedly had a profound impact on Norway.
It's tough to imagine, a nation
Wow.
so outward looking and driven
Right.
by exploration and expansion,
Mm-hmm.
now finding itself in a subordinate position.
Right.
How did the Norwegian people cope with that? Did they resist?
Oh, absolutely, there was resistance. But it took many forms.
Okay.
Sometimes it was outright rebellion. peasant uprisings against Danish policies.
Wow.
Other times it was more subtle,
Okay.
quiet but persistent preservation of their culture and language.
That makes sense.
Think about it. Even under Danish rule, they continued to speak their language, tell their stories, maintain their traditions.
So it's almost like a form of cultural resilience.
Exactly. It was a way of holding on to their identity even when their political independence was limited.
Right.
And this tenacity would play a crucial role in their eventual journey back to independence.
It had to.
But it was a long and winding road.
Let's fast forward a bit.
Okay.
The Napoleonic Wars, early 1800s.
Yeah.
Shook things up all over Europe.
They did.
Did those events have an impact on Norway?
Oh, absolutely. The Napoleonic Wars redrew borders, upended old alliances.
Right.
And in 1814, as these wars were winding down, an opportunity opened up for Norway.
They declared independence.
They declared independence from Denmark.
I love it.
It was a bold move.
It was.
Fueled by a renewed sense of national pride.
I bet.
A desire to chart their own course.
You can almost hear those Viking ancestors cheering them on.
I know. It's amazing.
They drafted their own constitution.
They did. A remarkably progressive document for its time.
Emphasizing individual rights.
Exactly.
Democratic principles.
Laying the groundwork for the modern egalitarian society they would become.
It's inspiring.
It is.
But I'm guessing it wasn't smooth sailing from there.
Unfortunately, no. The political realities of Europe are still complex.
Okay.
Norway declared independence from Denmark, but they soon found themselves pushed into a union with Sweden.
So close.
I know. So close.
To achieving that goal, only to be pulled into another union.
It was a setback, for sure.
Yeah.
But even within that union, the seeds of self-determination had been sown.
Right.
The Norwegian people continued to nurture their distinct identity.
Right.
And their desire for full autonomy never faded.
Okay, so let's bring it into the 20th century.
Okay.
1905 was a pivotal year for Norway.
It was.
In 1905, after years of growing tension and a rising tide of Norwegian nationalism,
right,
the union with Sweden was dissolved.
Finally.
It was a remarkable achievement.
It was.
A peaceful separation.
I bet that was a joyous occasion.
It was a moment of national celebration.
Yeah.
A chance to embrace their destiny as a fully sovereign nation.
Okay.
And to mark this new era, they chose a new king.
Okay.
Prince Karl of Denmark.
Interesting.
Who became King Haakon VII.
They chose a Danish prince to be their king.
It was a strategic move.
Okay.
To ensure stability and good relations.
But it was also a way of demonstrating their confidence.
Right.
Their ability to choose their own path.
Yeah, so it's like they were saying, we are independent, but we're also pragmatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Forward-thinking.
And as Norway entered the 20th century, they faced a world that was rapidly changing.
Right.
New technologies, global power dynamics were shifting.
Yes.
Europe was on the brink of war.
A turbulent time.
It was.
So how did Norway navigate these challenges?
That is a great question.
Did they maintain their independence?
It leads us into a very challenging chapter.
World War II.
World War II.
A dark period for all of Europe.
Yes.
Norway was occupied by the Nazis?
They were. In 1940, Nazi Germany invaded and occupied Norway.
Right.
Their goal was to control the coastline.
Strategically.
Access its resources.
Right.
For the Norwegian people, it was a time of hardship.
Oppression.
Yeah. Their newfound independence snatched away.
Devastating.
It was devastating.
So how did they respond? Did they resist?
Absolutely. They showed incredible resilience and courage.
I bet.
A strong resistance movement emerged.
Okay.
Carrying out acts of sabotage.
Oh, wow.
Gathering intelligence. Helping people escape.
So they fought back.
They did.
In whatever way they could.
And King Haakon VII,
yes,
who had become a symbol of national unity,
right,
refused to cooperate with the Nazis.
Good for him.
He went into exile in England.
Wow.
Broadcasting messages of defiance and hope.
Wow. So even in their darkest hour.
They refused to be cowed. They held on to that spirit of independence.
Right.
And this resistance, both overt and subtle,
right,
played a role in undermining the Nazi occupation.
Okay.
And paving the way for their liberation in 1945.
It's a testament to the human spirit, isn't it?
It really is.
To face those odds and fight for their freedom.
And in Norway's case, this resistance was deeply rooted in their history. This is the same spirit that helped them survive harsh environments, navigate complex politics, preserve their cultural identity.
So the war ends. Norway is liberated.
Yes.
But what happens next? Rebuilding a nation.
It was a monumental task.
I can only imagine.
Physical damage, economic hardship, emotional scars.
Right.
But once again, the Norwegian people demonstrated their resilience.
They always do.
They rolled up their sleeves and began rebuilding.
So what were some of the key decisions that helped shape their post-war recovery?
Well, in the decades after the war, Norway experienced rapid economic growth and social progress.
Okay.
They invested heavily in education, healthcare, social welfare programs.
It seems like that commitment to social welfare is such a defining characteristic of modern Norway.
I think it is.
Where did that come from?
I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
There's definitely a strong sense of community, social responsibility in their culture.
Right.
But it's also a reflection of their historical experiences.
Right. Having endured that hardship and oppression.
Exactly. They were determined to create a society where everyone had the opportunity to thrive.
Yeah.
Regardless of their background.
It shows how a nation's past can shape its present.
Absolutely. And speaking of shaping the present, there's another event in Norway's post-war history we need to discuss.
Okay.
In 1969, something happened that had a profound impact on Norway's future.
What's that?
They discovered oil in the North Sea.
Wow. The discovery of oil can be a game changer.
It can be.
Did they experience an economic boom?
Oh, they did. The oil revenues brought a surge of wealth to the country.
Okay.
But what sets Norway apart is how they chose to manage this new wealth.
Did they go on a spending spree?
They took a very different approach.
Okay.
Instead of squandering it on short-term gains, they made a conscious decision to think long-term.
Smart.
They established a sovereign wealth fund known as the Government Pension Fund Global, which is designed to invest those oil revenues for the benefit of future generations.
It's like they were channeling the spirit of those Viking explorers, planning their voyages with a careful consideration for the long journey ahead.
Exactly.
But instead of navigating the seas, they were navigating global finance.
That's a fantastic analogy. It really is a testament to their foresight.
Right.
Commitment to a better future for their people.
It's inspiring.
It is today, Norway's sovereign wealth fund is one of the largest in the world.
Wow.
And it serves as a model for other nations.
There's another aspect of modern Norway that I find so fascinating.
What's that?
Their reputation as a global leader in environmentalism.
Yes.
How did that come about? Is it connected to their history?
I think there is a connection.
Okay.
Norway's history is deeply intertwined with nature.
Right, from those early hunter-gatherers.
From those early hunter-gatherers who lived in harmony with the environment.
Right.
To today, where they have such an appreciation for their natural landscapes.
Yeah.
There's a deep respect embedded in their culture.
And I'm guessing their experience with oil probably gave them a unique perspective.
Absolutely. They saw the potential consequences.
Right.
And they were determined to find a balance between economic growth and environmental protection.
Right.
They invested in renewable energy.
Okay.
Implemented strict regulations, and became a leading voice in international efforts.
So in a way, they've taken their experience managing oil wealth. And applied it to managing the planet's resources.
That's a great way to put it. They've taken those lessons from their past.
Both good and bad.
The triumphs and the challenges.
Yeah.
To forge a path towards a better future.
It's an incredible journey.
It is.
And I'm eager to hear how it unfolds in present day.
I know, me too.
But let's take another break.
Okay.
Let our listeners absorb all this.
I agree. When we come back, we'll explore how those threads of history continue to weave their way into the fabric of modern Norway.
I'm looking forward to it.
From their cultural traditions to their role as a global leader.
All right, everybody, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to our deep dive into the story of Norway. It's been an amazing journey so far.
It really has.
From those early hunter-gatherers in a newly thawed landscape to the rise and fall of the Vikings, through centuries of, political maneuvering and the struggle for independence, and finally their emergence as this modern nation we know today.
It's remarkable to see how all those threads weave together,
I know. So let's talk about how that history, how those echoes of the past show up in Norway today.
Okay.
What are we talking? Museums. Viking reenactments.
Well, those are certainly part of it.
Okay.
I mean, you can find incredible Viking ship museums in Oslo and other cities where you can see those iconic vessels up close and learn about their seafaring skills.
Right. And the festivals and reenactments are cool, too.
Oh, yeah. Those are fun. They definitely keep those traditions alive.
Yeah, but I think it goes deeper than that.
Oh, it definitely goes deeper than that.
Okay, so how does that Viking heritage, beyond museums and festivals, how does it shape the modern Norwegian mindset?
Well, think about some of those characteristics we talked about.
Okay, like
resilience, adaptability, a thirst for exploration,
right,
a strong sense of community.
Yeah.
These are traits that were forged in the fires of their history, and they continue to inform how they approach the world today.
So it's not just remembering the past, right?
Right.
It's about those historical experiences shaping their values today.
Exactly. You see it in their environmentalism, their innovative spirit, their commitment to social equality.
And probably that love for the outdoors.
Oh, absolutely. That love for exploring the natural world. It's like those ancient values have been reinterpreted,
For the 21st century.
Yeah.
So can you give us some concrete examples of how this actually looks in modern Norway?
Absolutely. Let's start with environmental leadership.
Okay.
Norway is a global pioneer in renewable energy, particularly hydropower. And they've been at the forefront of protecting those pristine environments.
The fjords.
The fjords, the Arctic landscapes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That deep connection to nature, which goes all the way back
to those early hunter-gatherers.
Their reverence for the land. It continues to inform their policies today.
It's amazing to see a country with that history of resource extraction, oil and gas, now a leader in sustainability.
It shows that economic growth and environmental protection can go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And then you have their social model, emphasizing equality, inclusivity, a strong social safety net, universal health care, affordable child care, parental leave policies.
It makes me think about their experience in the Kalmar Union.
Oh, yeah.
Centuries under Danish rule.
Right.
Having experienced the limitations and inequalities of being under someone else's control, it makes sense that they would want to create a society that was truly equitable.
That's a very insightful observation. I think their history has definitely shaped their vision.
Yeah, and it's not just domestic policies either.
Right.
Norway is also known for their global leadership.
Yes.
Especially in peacemaking and humanitarian aid.
Exactly. They've played a key role in mediating conflicts around the world. They're consistently one of the top donors of foreign aid.
They really are making the world a better place.
They are. It speaks to that Viking spirit,
That exploration.
That outward-looking perspective.
Instead of sailing the seas.
They're engaging with the world in a different way.
Right, trying to build bridges.
Fostering cooperation.
It's beautiful.
It is.
So as we wrap up our deep dive here,
what
are some of the key takeaways?
Well, I think we've seen the power of resilience.
Resilience is so important.
It is. Right. Throughout their history, they've faced challenges.
Yeah, so many.
And they've always found a way to adapt and overcome.
It's true. And I think we've also seen the importance of learning from the past, right?
Absolutely. Understanding how our history shapes us, influences our future. Norway is a perfect example.
Right.
They've taken the lessons from their past, the good and the bad, and used them to create a society that is prosperous, equitable, sustainable.
It's inspiring.
And lastly, I think we've seen the power of vision and action.
Yes.
They have a vision for the kind of society they want, and they're taking steps to make it happen.
They're not just sitting back.
No, they're constantly striving to improve.
They innovate to make a difference.
Exactly. I hope our listeners feel empowered to apply these lessons in their own lives.
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
Embrace that resilience, learn from the past.
Take action, make a difference. There's so much we can take away from Norway's story.
This was just a glimpse.
A glimpse into a rich tapestry of history and culture.
There's so much more to discover.
There is.
Everyone, keep exploring, keep learning, keep asking questions.
The world is full of stories.
It is.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
We had a great time.
Into the world of Norway.
We hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, happy exploring, everyone.
We come from the icy sea. Roaring winds set us free. Oh, strike the boiling waves. In the night we find our graves. Hoist the sails, feel the storm. Through the thunder we are born. Strike the chord of destiny. Here the saga sets us free. come from the icy sea. Roaring winds set us free, or strike the boiling waves. In the night we find our graves. Hoist the sails, feel the storm. Through the thunder